Hey guys, this is Shantae with Brown Sugar Talks on Mom Crush Monday because this is Women's History Month. So I want to come up with like how I came to the idea of creating my own school. So I started teaching as a substitute. And as a substitute, I really was like, one woman stopped me and she was like, "You're going to be a teacher." I was like, "No, I'm not. I'm going to be an actress. I'm going to write. I'm going to produce. I'm going to direct." She's like, "No, you're going to probably have to be a teacher because there's no money out here and there's no jobs." So I still worked the theater circuit in St. Louis or whatever for a little bit. And then I still worked as a waitress and I finally got like a teaching gig. So when I finally got the teaching gig, it was offered to me as a permanent position. I didn't take it. I moved to Texas. In this time, I also, like, for 4 years, I didn't teach. I just subbed or something like that. I didn't continuously teach. So I came up with this idea of creating my own school based on just like working at different places, like different companies and stuff. So what happened is like I would see, I guess from a young age, I would see women that were jealous of women. I saw the business of church. And nobody put that into my head until I saw Methodist people. But if you look at church, it's always the same thing. It'll be like the people that are the leaders are the people who have money, or the people who come from 2-parent homes, or the people who come from a single-parent home. And the mom was like just always in church. Like it's always the people that they support are the people who seem to be well put together. But sometimes you see them and you like, no, that lady just pinched me and she don't even know me. It's like just some stuff they do this like dirty shit. So anyway, not to say all people do it, but it happens. So then I saw companies. I like worked at the company. I saw the people. I was like, oh, okay, this is how this works. I saw the good and I saw the bad. So then I just started like, okay, this is how this works, right? So then I get to this point where I'm just like, I get to this school, I finally become a teacher, and I get to this school where I'm working under 2 women that were not cognizant of the other women, but that was the history of my experience with women. And it was like almost like the men, like it was almost like either they had a man's point of view of how to treat another woman, even though they themselves are women, or they had a point of view of, let's see, like, okay, so I'm gonna give you an example. My grandmother said that woman can't be president. You ask her why, she's like, because we're moody and we do this, this, that, and the other. And it's like, okay, what? But that's something I heard early. Then I got to school and I heard black people were just evil. Like I remember I was in the library and the soda machine was broken, and they were like, who was the woman said to the other woman, who was the main person who were the main people getting the sodas out of the soda machine? It was actually the white people who started it. It was like one white boy who went up to the soda machine, saw it was open, and then he started telling everybody the soda machine was open. But they blamed it all on the black students because the black students were the last people that they saw. But the first students that were there, they were actually white students. But when she said that, I was like, whoa, like that's just your perception. I mean, that was her perception. She didn't know I was there. When she saw I was there, her face was like in shock, So it's just like, okay, that kind of stayed with me for a minute too. Then I was just like, okay, so that's like black woman. So then I get to this school and the way that they treat women is like downright disrespectful. It's almost like you have the scores, you have everything you need, you have so much going for your company, and she was just like so hard on women. Like, you have to be here at this certain time or you're gonna be fired. You can't have the technology because you a thief. All these assumptions. You need to wear stockings because you a hoe. Like, it was just like all kind of bullshit just going on, So I'm just like, what the hell? So this gave me the idea, like, you really do need your own school, and you can do that by learning different companies and different things like that. Like, you can do that because no one idea stays with the company. So like, just like Walmart has that tag and bag system or whatever, that could work in the school too. Like, when you run out of a certain supply, it reorders for itself. Like, so, which Amazon is like having people do it now. Like, okay, we run every month, I can get this. But no, Walmart had this system for the longest time. Only Walmart had it. It's like, once they put something into the computer, like once their inventory goes low, it reorders it automatically. Like, nobody has to really reorder it for them. It just kind of comes in. So I heard Target just said they were going to be doing the same thing, you know. But even though that's in a grocery store setting, it can be used in so many other places. Like, it could be used on a car. Like, you know, if somebody could program that into your car, like, okay, oh, well, you need an oil change. Okay, let me schedule you an oil change like a month out, just to be sure you have money, you know, for the whatever. But or you could like schedule it for your car to do it if it's hooked into an app or something like that. That would be a dope little. Why do I always give away my fucking inventions? Anyway, so what I'm saying is, like, if you look at one company and look at their practices, then you can better learn how to build the better company for you. The best place that showed me that was Central Market. So it was just like that's who taught me about how things flow, how products come in and how products go out. So I don't know. It's almost like, from that's also where I learned to be kind to people, because it's like I had been through so much stuff, and around me people were just like, I'm gonna treat you like shit, like fuck you, I don't care, who cares, you just another piece of person, you nothing to me. And so I was just like, okay, like, I don't know where this is coming from, but I'm not going to take it as if I'm not anything. Like, I'm not going to take it as like it's my problem. I'm going to take it as if it's their problem. So it's like people will create situations, like all these situations, all these situations, just to see, okay, well, how you going to react to it? Well, how can I react to it? Because you set up a situation, you know, like, what you want me to do? You want me to react in this situation? It's like, no, I don't need you to react. I don't need to react in this situation. And I feel like the people that have set it up are people who just that's why it's like so hard, because it's like, why would you do that? Why would you be that cruel to me, you know, to do something like that? I have been nice to people. Sometimes I've been nice, and I've been going through anxiety. I remember I was at a school, I had an anxiety attack, and this is when my anxiety first started. This person comes, and she's telling me about all this different stuff. White woman. She was just like, and I had never had that experience, because coming from Texas, the people that taught me were actually white women. Like, I'm not saying that it was like, it was just something that made me realize how hard we are on each other. That's all I'm saying. Like, it wasn't anything else. It was just like, it's not anything against black people or being racist or denying my race or anything like that. What I'm saying is like, I was in a situation where this woman taught me the softness of, but I was hard when I first started teaching. I'm sorry to keep going back, but when I first started teaching, when I was a sub and got the permanent position, I was a hard ass. Like, I was just like, you gonna work out, like, fuck that, you know. I wasn't cursing, but it's just like, you are going to do what I tell you to do, because I also came from an ROTC background. So it was like, if they did something wrong, I made them exercise, I made them run, I made them do all this stuff, you know. And that's how they respected me. They earned, they had to earn my respect. So when I got to Texas and I started teaching, it was a different type of student. Like, the students were just different. So I had a chance to talk to the students. I had a chance to laugh and play with the students. And I did that in my first teaching job too. And it was only because I had two students that taught me something different. So when people say you can't learn from kids, it's like, that's a lie, because you can. Like, you learn who you are from children. You learn yourself from children, because there is a softness that children have, and that if you open yourself up to it, you will start to see, like, you can start to see all the lessons and see who you are within them. So some kids, you can see jealousy. Some kids, you start to see their traits. And so once you start to look at their traits and say, okay, wait a minute, that's not right, we're gonna fix this. So some people decide to fix it, and some people decide to let it just linger in their classroom. I prefer to be like, okay, this is who you are, this is what I'm seeing, So how do you change that? How does that feel? What is it that's making you do that? Because if they continue to do those things, guess what's happening? You're going to have kids that want to fight other kids because they got better shoes on than them. They're going to want to talk about them. They're going to put kids down because it is that and the other, when really you could have already stopped that community within your classroom if you can. Because I was in one classroom setting and I couldn't stop it all. It's something I couldn't do, but I wasn't myself either. So anyway, I get to the point where I get this job and I'm just like, okay, this is it was just too much for me. Like, it was too much to watch people be decimated by this woman. Like, it was just like, why do you do that? Like, what is it that you do? What is the problem? Like, why is it that you do that? And then you learn that they just like the kids. Like, they have jealousy issues. Like, they have issues where they themselves are not secure enough to get to any point. And if you secure, they want to make you insecure. So it would be like, let me call you into the office, and I had already had anxiety, and she'll just like, again, I did not know, but it was just like, I would be so nervous in his office. I would be nervous. I would be, all these different things. But the thing is, I knew exactly what I needed in that time that she put me in the office. So if she called me in there for some bullshit, it's like, you wrong. Like, I'm going to tell her she wrong. And the thing of what she would not see is that how I could achieve. Like, she would give somebody else my victory. Like, she would give, I remember one time I made up a rap song, and I would do this all the time. I would like driving, I heard a beat, and I'm like, oh my God, I could redo this song, So I finally had somebody I could do that with, but he was a slacker. He didn't want to do any work. He just wanted to borrow. So I never saw the benefit of him. So it's almost like, okay, you want me to give you some benefit in your life, but you're not giving me the benefit, but you're not benefiting me. And so that was like a big problem for me. So I didn't want to give him everything, because he never really gave me anything. He didn't offer me anything. It felt like he was like coming to take it from me. Like he felt like it belonged to him. Like my work was his work, and that wasn't true. So anyway, I finally had him there, and he started helping with the beats and stuff. As soon as it was time for us to have a contest or something like that, she comes in and says that it wasn't me that won, it was him. And I'm the person that came up with the song. I'm the person that came up with the beat. I came up with all the stuff. So what she did was she took the two classes and separated them, and then was like, well, who did this part and who did this part? So because they knew the beat, then she felt like they won. And he had to actually tell her, no, she is the person that came up with this, And it was just like, why do you feel as if a woman cannot achieve as much as a man can? I saw her fire people for dumb shit, like shit that she should have been responsible for. I just saw a lot of stuff, and I was like, it ain't no way that this is how school is ran, especially by a woman that's over other women. It seemed to me like it should have been more like New City School. It was a school that was like, I think a woman created it, and it's almost like you could see that it was camaraderie and different things like that, and everybody had a hand in it, and the same people were there for 17 years. So it's like you start to see, okay, these people, what's wrong with them? Like, what happens to you? What is your insecurity? And it's like, all my life, it's just like, I felt like I never wanted to be a woman that was like that. I wanted to be a woman that empowered women. I want to be a woman that empowered children. Most of all, I want to be a woman that empowered people. And so through that empowering, I had people that stole and wanted to think that I was trying to hurt them in some kind of way, or that I was trying to take them down, or it just be like you could offer something and the person will snatch it and be like, okay, like I said, like it usually like a dog that's just ungrateful, an ungrateful dog, Now, I don't mean to compare people like that, but it's like all I was doing was trying to help. And I would have people still trying to take it. Like, it'll be like, let me snatch it from you. And it's like, but sweetie, I'm just trying to give it to you. Like, I'm just going to give it to you. If you wanted it, you could have sat down and talked to me about it. You don't have to take it. It's not something that needs to be taken. And so, I don't know. I guess that's my whole thing now. It's like, if it's a fight, and I know people like, I had another person tell me, well, you got to fight. You need to fight. Well, fight for it. No, you don't. You shouldn't. Why? For what? what is it a fight for? You know, as a woman and you making history, as a man who's making history, as a person of color that's making history, it's like, or being who you are, you know, getting to that point of who you are and what's important to you and what life has to offer you. You then have to decide, like, okay, is this for me or is it not for me?